Guys, we're friends, right? Well, the sign of a true friend is when they discover something good, they share it with you. And that's what I'm gonna do today. This is Loretta's British ginger tea. It is amazing. It's got 100% ginger, cinnamon, elderberry, and manuka honey. Gotta admit, don't know what manuka honey is, not even sure what it does for you, but it just sounds healthy, so I need some. This tea is fantastic for boosting your immune system, helps you feel good, and you'll live out loud like our beautiful British friend Loretta Nakwacha. Please hit her up on Instagram, order some of this tea, and she is at farmers markets and pop-up shops everywhere. You gotta get some of this stuff. Not only is it good for you, but it tastes great. Loretta's British ginger tea. I got some, you need it too. Go and order now.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're watching Rude Rangers TV.
You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra, a show that highlights fantastic filmmakers, artists, entrepreneurs, and entertainers from all walks of life. We're committed to introducing you to individuals and organizations and projects of which you're not necessarily aware. And we do this with the intention of uplifting, empowering, and enlightening you. If you can, please share this episode on all your social media. We also love it if you text your friends and ask them to tune in. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, we have a unique treat. I am so happy to have this special person on the show. She is just absolutely incredible. Had the wonderful time of working with her during the Cannes Film Festival, which is one of the top film festivals in Hollywood in the world. And this young lady, she just came in and just made it work. And so please help me welcome Miss Karine. Hi, Karine, how you doing?
Hi, Terra, I'm fine, and you? Happy to be here.
Very, very good. You know, super proud of you. What you're doing overseas is just nothing short but amazing. And just so happy that we have connected. And I'm telling you, your future is humongously bright. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. So please tell the audience what got you started with Pavilion Afriques, and what is Pavilion Afriques?
Okay, you won't believe me, but I'm not a film person at all. I'm more of a book person, you know, and it was a combination of circumstances that drove me to have to create Pavilion Afrique. In fact, I am in the event industry. I worked for a big event in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in China as well. And someone asked me to work on a project in the film industry with them. And finally, after a lot of twists and turns, I decided just to create my own event. For me, it was just one event among many events, you know. It could have been something else. But then Pavilion Afrique was born, and now I am, thanks to so many people who help, who explain things to me, I am right deep into the film industry.
Yes, you are. You're a major player. Wow. Can you share with the audience what is Pavilion Afrique?
Okay, Pavilion Afrique is, I would say, the home for Africans and Afro-descendants in the Cannes Film Festival. which is the most glamorous film festival in the world, because we are in France, of course. And there, I want all Africans of Afro descendants to feel that they have a home in Cannes. They don't have to go and ask if they could sit at someone else's table. And on top of that, being together give us more strength, more visibility, more branding. And people know that when they come to Pavillon Afrique, they will meet the world, actually. Because, for this edition, which was online, we got participants from 64 countries over 5 continents. This is how strong we are. And when you know these numbers, you say, okay, there are things that you don't need because you have your people all over the world. And if you manage to put everybody together, this is a strength that you can't even imagine. And so my job is to make people come to Pavillon Afrique, and so they are at home and they welcome the rest of the world. This is how I see it.
And that's awesome, because I tell you, in participating this year, I felt, and so have the filmmakers who participated, they felt at home. They felt so royal, the way that you executed everything. It was just top notch. So you are a true visionary, and you really have the spirit of excellence on you and with you and in you. And we really appreciate that. What does it take to pull something like that off?
Oh, gosh. Do I need to tell you? You have a great event as well. And since it was our first event in 2019, it felt like it was exhilarating. And at the same time, we had to work like 16 hours a day, because I was working with a director of communication of operation at the time. And we have to do so many things, trying to be creative, to really create something very big, very impactful, because I believe that if you begin something small, it's difficult to make it grow, especially if you are a minority, So you have to impact people to make, okay, wow, this was great, and this is what we got. But of course, we had to work a lot. First, we had to, look for funds that we didn't really find. So I had to finance it myself, like 80%. Okay. And we had to find people to participate in the panels, MCs, and everybody we found, they just bought our vision. This is how we managed to pull it, just selling our vision. And people say, okay, we want to be part of it. If they didn't get paid, nothing, they just say, I want to participate. I want to be there. I want to take my share, And we had a great MC. We had great panelists from all over the world.
Wow.
And the attendance was great. Usually the pavilion opened around 9 up to 5 or 6. Pavillon Afrique at 9, you would find people, they didn't want to go home. They were under the pavilion discussing. And you could feel, even now, I have goosebumps just remembering it, because you could feel the energy, you could feel the love, you could feel the people wanting to be there, to do things together,
Yes,
and they didn't want to leave. Nobody wanted to leave. They met people they would never have dreamt of meeting. They found friends. Now I talk to a lot of people, and they say, okay, you remember so and so, I'm doing something with them, I'm doing, and the atmosphere we had, it was just awesome, just awesome. And I know that without all these people, not only the participants, but all the panelists, the MC, the hosts, if it wasn't for them, it would have never happened in the first place. It means that when you do something and it's long overdue, this is what you feel, because even the Cannes Film Festival, when I went with my project, and they said, oh, we've been waiting for that for so long. This is what they said, because of course there were a few African countries who came, 3 or 4, from time to time. Why the majority of the other countries, they are there every single year from 1946.
Wow.
They've been coming. It's like a rendezvous, an annual rendezvous, and they come and they meet and they do business. And this is what I want to do Pavillon Afrique every single year from the start, from 2019, and I hope people will understand that consistency is key.
Yeah.
You don't come and meet someone, because you have to nurture the relationship. You've met someone for the first time, you've discussed a little bit because you meet so many people. The second time, maybe you will deepen the relationship a little bit more. And, because when you hear people in the industry, they say, okay, I have always wanted to make something, a project with this person, but nothing came straight away. And one day, 7 years later, 10 years later, you hear that a lot. And then, oh, this is the perfect project. And they call the person. Imagine that if they had met this person only once, they would not have done the project with them. Because even though you like people, everybody is so busy, and you have to keep the relationship to nurture it. And this is what I tell everybody, just everybody is important. Everybody needs, and even if just say, hello, how are you? I heard that, how are things coming? It's very important to do that. And I trust that I managed to, ingrain that in people so that they will come back each year and do business, and that the business that is generated will make them generate even more business.
That is so awesome. So well said. Deeply appreciate that. And we'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Harry O. Confetti, international Formula One driver. I sped to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has, because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I got to come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
We're having a conversation with African American filmmakers. Join the African American Women in Cinema Filmmaker Series at the Clubhouse, presented by I Am the Color of Beautiful Global, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. AAWIC on Clubhouse. Join us on the Clubhouse app for this inspiring conversation. Hosted by Karen Moore, founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful Global. Join us this Monday at 6 p.m. on the Clubhouse app for African American Women in Cinema's Filmmaker Series.
Hey, this is Jewel Taker from the Jewel Taker Show on Impact Network. Also, you can watch me and my family on The Tankers on Prime Amazon, or watch me and my sister's Chatter Talk show on Fox. So me and my girls, Dr. Dee Freeman, Monique Eilert Mosley, Real Talk Kim, and Holly Carter, and you're watching Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we have the lovely Karine from Pavilion Afrique, who is in the film business big time, big player. And basically, before we went to break, she was telling us the process and also the importance of relationship building and what it really means in having participation and unity. And that's so important because that is true. That's how you move forward in such a strong and powerful and positive way. Karine, any films that you've seen this year, any one of them stood out to you during the Cannes Film Festival?
Okay, the most recent movie I watched, it was in avant-première in Paris, and it's won a few awards, and it's about it's a film from Haiti, and it's about the story of two women in Haiti trying to survive, the situation, and it was really powerful, and it went to win a few awards even in Cannes, Wow. And sometimes it's just so difficult to convey this kind of thing that women do have to make choices, and sometimes the choices are you going to marry someone just for money, because anyway you don't have money, you cannot live, or sometimes to be just to dream of something else and be true to your core, and what can you despise the women who the woman who went and got married just for the money, or it's because life is not in black and white.
That's
and
so true.
This is why I think it was so powerful.
That's good. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's good. So, what I really love about what you're doing is that, and you had made mention of it earlier when we were speaking, is that you really look to assist the filmmaker in making sure, or certainly putting them in the direction to at least get some support for it so we can go even further, and I think that's my connection with you, Karine, to be honest with you, because it's like, we see the talent, and they had the courage to follow the call. And so now, folks don't understand there's so many dynamics in making a film. And then once you make the film, there are a ton of dynamics to getting it out. I mean, technology today have helped a lot with that, because before, Facebook, website, and all that stuff, you had to rely on the big guys to see if they would be interested in picking it up, and a lot of times they wouldn't, so in your process in connecting the dots, how many filmmakers were you able to assist in this way? And you don't have to give an exact number, but maybe a roundabout figure.
Okay. For this year, during the Cannes Film Festival this year, we managed to sell, let's say, around 24 movies.
Wonderful, okay? Great.
And but since the first time, the first edition, I didn't expect, my idea was to do, as I said, just one event and put people together, always bring value, because this is what you have to do if you want people to come back, bring value. And then people began sending me their content saying, okay, can you please put it in contact with buyers, with platforms, with, and this was really their first ask, to be able to sell their content and to find finance, to find funds for their projects. And then I began knowing nothing about it. I began calling the few people who had come to the pavilion, the few either producers or buyers, and say, okay, I have this movie. Can I send it to you and see if you're interested? I had no idea how it works, but still I managed to sell a few like that.
Wow.
I don't know why, if people were just desperate, they felt sorry for me, or I don't know, or I have a big sense of persuasion. But, I managed to sell a few like that. And people kept sending a lot of things. And I say, okay, but I don't have the time, because the worst part of it is that it takes a lot of time. Yes. Even when someone tells you, I am interested in this project, I'm interested in this content, you have to call them maybe 50 times. Just to send them reminders. Okay, did you have time to watch? Not yet. And again, I was so busy. Okay, I was on vacation, I had something. And then, but you have to be patient, and you have to be consistent. And at the same time, you don't want the person to feel pushed too much. You see? So you have to find the right balance. But if you don't do that, it's such a competitive industry.
Yes.
The person may be interested in what you're doing, but then something happens, an urgency comes up, or whatever, and then you are not in their mind. Yes. This is why you have to keep gentle reminders, and then say one day they say, oh, finally. Sometimes 1 year later, I got, oh yeah, finally I got some time to watch the contents, or but you have to do that. But I don't really have time to do it. But sometimes I feel like, okay, this has to be known. But more and more, after those 2 editions, and even the year where the pandemic, and then we didn't do anything, during the year, we still manage the 24 I told you about, the movies that we saw during this year, but I didn't count how many I saw from the beginning, I say I saw, not really, but, I put people in contact, because, but now, yes, what I was saying, that now we know more and more distributors, more and more platforms, more and more investors, so we can, put it to more people. And next year we are going to have screenings for buyers, and excellent. I think I plan to do a whole day, to rent out a theater for a whole day, and then it will be Pavilion Afrique Day, and then movies. So everybody will know wherever they come, during the day, they know that there will be an African or Afro-descendant film on. Because I think it will be easier to attract people on a day instead of, really my big reward each year to have a number of movies that go out, either in the theaters or movie theaters, or on platforms, and so on, because it means that what we're doing is we have things to say.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have a specific way of telling it, and people have to get accustomed to what we do, because even in Africa, there are more and more theaters, but they have Hollywood blockbusters, not African movies. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
It doesn't make sense. Here in France, we don't really have African movies except the big ones which have an award or something, but usually you don't have an African movies.
Wow.
And then if they go on festivals, they would be on a movie theater, but it would be for an event. Not, they just go out and if you want to go and watch them, it's very difficult. So I had approached someone who owns a few theaters here in France, in Paris. But you have to buy the time, etc. But I will keep, these are things that I plan to do, we have to do that. One day it will work. I will find a way to do it. You just sometimes, I had ideas for Pavillon Afrique, and then one day you just find the key, that allows you to do it. And this is what I hope I will be able to do, let's say, in the next 2 years.
That's awesome.
You have more movies from all over the diaspora and from Africa that are played here. We have a lot of African American movies here, the ones from Spike Lee, etc. We have them, not all of them, but we have some of them. But now we have to, to have more, and then it's just like something normal, just like any other movie. We don't want to be sort of different, like, okay, we want to have our movies up like any other movie. What do you think? This is what
I think is. I think it's great. And listen to you, and thank you so much. You're so elegantly explaining everything. And as you are explaining, I'm getting even more of the insight. The audience are as well. But, I did not realize. Now, I've been going to the Cannes Film Festival since 2000, I believe. Actually, 1998. And I want to talk. I have a story to share. But we'll be right back after these messages. You'll listen to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS and the Make the Grade Foundation for Education. You're listening to Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we're talking with the fabulous Karine of Pavillon Afriques, and boy, is she giving us incredible insight, and we deeply and humbly appreciate that. But before we went to break, I was stating that my experience at the Cannes Film Festival, there was something that Karine said that triggered this, and but let me share my story. For the first time I worked on a feature film, I was an associate producer. It was an independent director who was Japanese, and our cinematographer was Vietnamese, and they did like a artsy, almost 3-hour film. And it would reminded me of the opening, rather reminded me of the hit film Sling Blade, which starred Billy Bob Thornton. But anyway, we found out 3 weeks that we were actually selected for the festival 3 weeks before we were supposed to be there in France. And that was because the judges couldn't make up their mind into what category that they wanted to put us in. So they put us in the uncertain regard category. Mm-hmm. And so here we are, you know, scrambling because they needed like 2,000 press kits. I said 2,000, you know, we had like no budget. We barely finished the film. So, you know, now we got to get a flight, hotel, which was nearly impossible because the studios booked all this stuff out a year in advance. And we just found out 3 weeks prior. So it was like, okay, God, I need miracle after miracle. And then I got the miracles because a friend of mine who had already planned to go because she wrote a film that she wanted Joe Morton to star in. And at the time he was in the film Blues Brothers. So she already had a hotel room. So I said, oh, can I stay with you? So, oh, of course. So that took care of that. And then I ended up going to Cannes had an office on Madison Avenue here in New York. And I went there. I said, look, I got accepted in the Cannes Film Festival. I need to get an air flight, help, you know. And first they were so sweet about it. Congratulations. Okay, let's find you a flight. So it was my first time riding Air France. And I had a really, really good time. But Karine, when you said that there were really no African films, and you're right. I mean, outside of like the major type of screenings, now that I'm kind of thinking back, because I've been going every year since I've been selected, first time seeing my name in like major publications. And I tell you, that red carpet experience with like major photographers on each side, left and right, and I had to look like I'm going to the Oscars. It's just like, what an experience, you know, blew my mind. Mm-hmm. But, you know, in looking at all the books, I did books, meaning the catalogs of what would be screened. You know, I don't recall seeing films, African films. That's very interesting. You said that.
There are very, very little, very few African movies because, you know, it's just like, okay, if there is one, there can't be two, you know, or three, you know, but things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing little by little. And especially because of the platforms. Mm-hmm. You know, there is a feud between the Netflix and Cannes. Mm. Because Cannes, of course, if you want to be selected in Cannes, you cannot be already on a platform, for example. You know, and Netflix cut that, and people prefer to go to Netflix and get a deal instead of waiting to go to Cannes but this is what is great in France as well. It's that in order to protect our movie industry, we do that kind of calendar, or how to you know, how for a movie to go out, like movie theaters. After a certain time, it would go to as VOD, and then on the platforms, and then on television. You know, so if you go directly on platform, it doesn't work in France. And now Netflix will have to pay part of his of the money it gets, you know, of its revenue. For movies, for French movies.
Wow.
Yeah, because we are very, very protective of our culture. Mm-hmm. France is a very small country, but then, you know, it has this thing with films.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not as big as Hollywood, we're not as big as other countries, but we protect the culture because we understand that the way a story is told is very important.
Right.
You know, and then Africa has to understand that as well better and be more supportive of the way the government help, you know, and in the United States as well, you know, for I am not talking about the big people like Spike Lee and so on, you know, but you know the independent filmmakers, you know, they have to have a way to tell their stories. And why the independent movies not played in Africa, for example? And even, you know, we did something this year. I don't know if you attended it. We did the summit of the three hoods: Hollywood, Bollywood, and Nollywood.
Wow.
Because if we, there are a lot of films from Bollywood played in the US, and there are a lot of Black people watching the Bollywood films. And do you know if there are a lot of Afro descendant movies played in Bollywood? Not much. I don't want to say zero. So it means that it's a market for us. We have to say, okay, you send your movies to us, but we must find a way to send our movies to you.
Right.
You know, so probably there was a movie, I think this year, which is called Namaste Wahala. It was Afro-Indian movie, the first of the kind. You know?
Really?
But in India, the Indians who played didn't really want to advertise it in India.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they say why?
No, they didn't say. But then it was such a hit. So now they're happy to say that they participated in this movie. It was a big hit. So now it's a matter of probably this next year I'll do something about this again, you know, just to make the Indians aware of the other types of movies. Because India is over 1 billion people.
Yeah.
And what we need for our movies is people who are watching the movies, because this brings money. So if we get into the Indian market and can sell our movies there, it's great.
It would be fantastic. Wow.
So this is what, because my first trade was in international business, you know, so I'm always trying to find ways to put people together. People would not necessarily think that, okay, we can do something together, but we have an issue. We don't have enough people watching our movies. Okay, so if we go like African have more movies that are shown in the US, and the US, the indies movies, I'm not talking about the blockbusters, you know, indie movies in Africa. You see, Africa, the continent is, I think, over a billion as well. You see, it's just a matter of talking numbers.
Right.
You talk numbers, and then you begin to see the big picture. You don't have to go to Europe and say, please, I want you to show my movies. My movies are great. We don't want to do that, you know. We don't want to do that, do we?
No, but so have there been a test run of a film, of an Indian film being shown in the African market, in the African countries?
Yeah, there are a lot of Bollywood movies in Africa. A lot. They like the African movies. They have the Bollywood movies. So they are in every country. Even when they are just in Indian or in one of the Indian languages, they watch because it's beautiful, because it's dancing, because yeah. So
Wow.
why not the contrary? Because we don't have enough soft power. I think this is one of the reasons.
That's amazing. And that's a great analogy between the two countries with their population. They have the power, and it's just about really harnessing that power and really, focus it on that. And you're right, because in Hollywood, they have systemically set up barriers and only let a few in. That's changing now, but it has always been green rule, So if you show them you can make them some money, then they'll grab you just to make the money off of you, So, but that's very good. Very, very good. Do you see in the next 5 years any top women filmmakers from Africa being featured at like Cannes Film Festival?
There are last year, and the Senegalese woman won an award in Cannes.
Oh, great!
I hope it won't be just for once, but I think things are really changing. And I think there was one who won a certain regard as well this year. There are a few ones now, but the thing is that you still feel that, okay, you have to have a film from Africa. And one day what we want to say that, okay, we can have a lot of, not just one African movie. And that we come as, not that we deserve it, but we know enough that we are worth it.
Yes.
That even if we don't get this award, the movie has a real success, is a real success story, just on its own.
Right. And I want to talk more about that. We'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureen'shaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we're talking with the powerful Karine from Pavilion Afrique. Right before we went to break, we were talking about a young woman from Singhalese who won an award at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm super excited to hear that and grateful that things are changing. My question to you, Karine, is there sometimes a hesitancy to award such a filmmaker because, how far can that success be realized? Meaning that when it was found out that I got selected to participate in the Cannes Film Festival, I literally had people call me from all over. And one in particular phone call I remember was with this white guy. He was saying, well, if you win an award, we'll get you an agent, And so this is like Cannes was like in their mind the validator, for me to have a career to make not only myself money, but anybody who attached themselves to me, they can make money as well. Do you see that being the case with this Singalese woman award winner?
Yeah, because first you can go in movie theaters, which is ever so difficult.
Yes.
Right? So you are in movie theaters, and then you get invited to other festivals, and then your movies are shown, and then your movie is sure to have a career when you get. Mm-hmm. It's really about what you said. It's really about validation, because people in the industry who would not have watched your movie because people liked the movie or some other didn't like, but the thing is that people talk about it, and then you want to go and check if it's really as good as they say or if it's really as bad as they say. So the idea is that people talk about you, and usually when you get this kind of awards, your movie has a great career, and then for your second movie it will be considered, and even if it doesn't get an award, you can get to the press and say, okay, I won this award last year or the year before, and then you are validated, and people say, okay, it's not like any other movie. She is talented. He is talented. Yeah, for sure.
So do they? So then that would be the case where they would get more offers to do other films because of all of that. Okay.
Yes, of course. You have access to funds more easily. You have the CNC, which is the cinema body here in France that will give you money. You can get a producer. Yes, everything. It just opens the door. This is the purpose of awards. It's just to open the door. So this is why we need more people to get awards. And when they get an award, just to make sure that they try to promote, African and Afro-descendant movies. Because if you just take it and then you don't help other people, for me, it doesn't work. Because there are some people, they once they feel that they've made it, they are no longer Black. Oh yeah, they are no longer Black. You know that. They are colorblind. They don't see their color anymore. And I think that it's what I want to do is I want to push people to be the best version of themselves professionally. And help them find ways, open doors for them. And it takes time. But once you know where you want to go, every day you go a step up, a step up, a step up, and you don't come back, even if it's slow. And then afterwards, someone will take up the work but the thing is that there is no way you want to go down because of all the efforts you've made just to get there. And some of the people understand that and say, okay, if I've managed to go there, it's because of the work of so many people, so many Black people who really worked hard.
Yes, yes, yes.
And now you have some credit because of the work of other people. This is what it is actually. You get some credit. And if you do help other people, that it will be a chain, and you will never come back down, And we don't want that. We don't want that.
No, no, we want that success to ride out.
Yeah.
As long as humanly possible. I hear you. I hear
and
you.
we must understand business, because let's say we talk a lot about Netflix that has a whole department for African films, and I keep telling every time I can, Netflix doesn't do that because they love you. It's because they can make money with you. The thing is that we must understand that it's business, and don't think, okay, oh, thank you, be grateful. You must just make sure that you get your right share of the deal.
That's right.
So when something falls out or whatever, you're not mad at the person, because you have talked to the person like on an equal basis. I don't know if it's the right term in English, but and if you say yes, why you've said yes to the deal. It's not like, oh, finally they've helped me.
Right.
Because when you do business, you help yourself first.
That's right.
You try to have the person be satisfied with the deal. But if you think that the person is going to make a deal that will satisfy you 100% before his own interest, you're wrong. And you must understand that. Otherwise, you take it personally.
Right.
Why there is no reason to take it personally. I was telling to a young filmmaker. He said, I met this producer, this distributor. I talked to him. He told me he was interested. And then I sent him the content and he never got back to me. And then I met her. I met him a year later, and he said he didn't say hello. And I said, okay, did you send him reminders? No, I just sent, and he didn't answer me. And do you think that he recognized you after seeing you in a festival once, and then you mad at him, and he doesn't even remember that you exist? So if you really want something, you have to go after it. It's not personal, it's just business. So that you go talk to him. Do you remember me? We talked about that. You didn't answer me. I say, oh yeah, because really, I truly believe that most of people are not bad. So I've seen that with Pavillon Afrique. Really, I got so much help. I mean, I feel humbled with that because of that. If it was not for people like my advisors, I wouldn't have made it. Or maybe I would have made it once.
Right.
Because I know how to do an event. But people, if you really talk like human to human, don't think that the person is a god or your savior or whatever. But discuss about what you need.
Right.
How they can help. And then if you really are sincere, they will try to help, because we're just human.
Right. That's right.
Which,
That's right.
and those who don't want to help, no is an answer. So if they say no, it's no. Okay,
Right, right.
you go to
Yep,
someone else.
that's right. That's right.
Uh,
They're not the end all be all. And that's where, I think, young filmmakers or filmmakers who are not that privy in business, they take it personal. It's like, I got this talent. Look, I can do it.
okay.
But anyone who's trying to stay afloat, they want to look for someone who's established, have the
Mhm.
following, proven proof of concept. And so once in a while, you get those who have, established themselves. They do look for new and fresh talent. But, now with technology, you're able to discover yourself, if you will, have your own website, your own social media, and drive traffic,
Yes.
and then if enough sees you, then you may get a knock on the door from the big boys or someone else. So I really, really appreciate you bringing that up, because that is so important and we don't hear that often, Karine.
Mm.
So I'm very grateful. Well,
And talent is not enough.
right, right,
Talent,
right, right,
unfortunately, talent is not enough.
right.
You really have to have some strike of luck, meet the
Mm-hmm,
right person,
mm-hmm,
and this is why Kanye is so important. Meeting the
mm-hmm.
right person, it means that you have to be around the right person.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, I don't know, Karine, where the time went, but they're telling me that we have to go.
Get ready. Yeah,
Can
time
you
went
please
very
give the
fast.
audience how they can follow you on social media? What's your social media handles?
Yes, okay. So our social media are Pavillon Afrique. Pavillon in French is PAVILLON, Afrique with an S at the end, meaning
Okay.
Africa and the diaspora. And you
Oh,
will
that's
find that everywhere. Pavillon Afrique.
wonderful, wonderful. And thank you so much, audience, for listening to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization. You can visit us online at www.aawic.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Talk with Terra is made possible by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Our creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Please don't forget to like and share this episode with as many people as possible. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today and wishing you continued peace, blessings, and prosperity. And see you next episode.